I'm starting the recording now.
Do you still want us to record in Audacity as backup?
No, it's fine. Alright,
Okay.
ran out of hard drive space, so I'm going to have to stitch these two parts together. But as we were saying,
What were we talking about?
we were talking about Jean, and we're going to wrap it up and then talk about Henry, and then Tony's going to do his presentation.
Yeah,
Jean's a good cat.
It was
Yeah, the cat is named after her, which is
Oh,
really
right,
fun
yeah.
because like he introduces like, is that the woman I love or something? And it's like you named your cat after like an ex, I guess, and then you find out it's his sister, and it's like, oh, that's kind of like a little cute.
But he didn't even. But he
didn't
doesn't know.
remember,
Who she
yeah.
is. So like, why is his cat named Jean?
I think
So, like-
the implication,
Yeah.
like he says specifically, remember, like there is an implication that they did know at least about each other.
There is okay.
That's what it seemed like
I don't
to
know.
me.
Maybe. Okay, possible. But I was looking up something about the game. I forget what. And like, you know how Google has the extra like related questions you can do the drop down for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was Googling something, and then one of those was, how do you beat Gene? And I was like, oh, either the cat is going to be the final boss fight, or like, it's like or,
That would go hard. That would go
no,
hard.
That
Or,
would
like,
be great.
yeah, where like the cat transforms or something, or it's like a joke boss fight when you collect something, like a side thing, or like
That'd
the
be
true
awesome.
ending boss fight as
Cat
like a
super
joke.
boss.
But so in that one cutscene when you go to fight the grandma, you see the cat walk out, which I thought that's pretty cool. Ultimately, nothing happens with that. Like the cat
Yeah.
doesn't actually get in trouble. I was really disappointed there was no follow up to that, because that would have been a really cool thing, especially if it was more subtle and the camera didn't stay on it.
Oh, I
They
will.
could have made it like a
On that
something,
topic,
but,
though, I will say I really liked how, like, Travis says, like, Master, and you see that she's got Thunder Ryu, like, about to kill him. The dude from
Yeah.
the Yakuza that has taught you moves that you didn't think was going to be an actual character.
Right.
And then she kills him, and then, if you go back to the gym, he's a ghost.
Yeah, he's a ghost.
And then he guides you through the
Like,
Lost
even-
Forest. Like, everything with him I thought was very funny, and I didn't
yeah.
expect
Even,
any
like,
of
even though I
that.
don't have the spirit, my body died, but my spirit lives on here to train you.
You can't kill Thunder
Did you
Ryu.
expect to
I
play
saw
through basically
the
the
cat-
entire game again today? Did you expect that?
well,
To like
it's-
play the no.
Yeah, I mean, if you're max level and can just grind the thing,
Yeah,
like,
we just do it.
yeah, that makes
It's fine.
Yeah.
you can grind
Easy.
the stuff easily. So when the cat
My goal is
walked
to finish
through,
it before our talk ends.
when the cat walked through, I was like, oh shit! In this boss fight, what was her name? The boss
Speedbuster.
Speedbuster. I was like, oh, the cat is going to transform into this boss, and it's going to be crazy.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
And that didn't happen. Nothing happened with the cat, and I was
Yeah.
really disappointed. And then when that happened, I went back and I was like, "Well, what the fuck did Google lie to me? What is this an AI thing?" So then when Gene actually showed up, that still like caught me like off guard.
That's
so that was
hilarious.
just, like a funny development for me.
That is good. And then the final boss that you get
I
only
love this
by getting the
Yeah.
final upgrade.
Sir Henry is
my
fantastic.
thing is that like I liked it at first, and then I died twice from his one-hit kill attack, and it just takes too long to get through the fight because it's just the
Yeah.
same three moves
Yeah,
over
that
and
is
over.
how
My
Very
hands were
for me.
cramping.
Yeah.
I have to admit,
But
I have
Dark
to ad-
Step annihilates him, so I do not.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
have to-
hard. It was really easy. It's just if you get hit by the one-hit kill, then it's just time to spend
the one-hit
20
kill?
minutes. He does like a stinger at you, and it just insta-kills you.
but he
impale
charges it
you.
for like an hour.
Yeah, it's
It
easily
does?
dodgeable if you know what attack it is, but I just couldn't tell which one it was like
Okay,
leading from.
I didn't die.
And the second
I-
one was an accident, because I like didn't dodge the right way.
I have to
You can't
admit,
dodge forward, so
I have
that's a
to
problem.
admit, I didn't see the animation until I saw you playing it, Michael.
Yeah, I think it just doesn't happen.
I like
be like
didn't
that.
get hit.
Nah,
I don't think I saw
He
that in
did
animation.
it, but it was such an. It was like he takes so long to actually charge at you. I just never got hit by it.
I took that fight as a victory lap. I had the infinite battery still.
It does
I
feel
just
like
kept
kind of a
a wail
victory
on
lap.
him.
Like
I
it's
did not
not
want to
that
grind
hard.
more.
It's not
so-
hard, yeah. It's just that he has so much health. Like I think I finished it by
I
doing like
He doesn't
really
even have
enjoyed
that
just
much health.
wailing on him. Just
He
absolutely
had
wailing
the
on
most
him.
health
He
of
does
any
have
boss in the
yeah,
game.
no, yeah. He has
No, Bad Girl
like
has the most
giant...
health of any boss in the game.
You are insane.
No.
It took
Bad
me
Girl has so much
280
health.
hits to kill Henry.
Yeah,
I didn't even
200
have
Yeah,
the
same.
max level
hits.
weapon.
It took me,
and
like,
Yeah,
200
but Henry
something.
lets you combo him to death like
Yeah,
so
but
many
he
times
like
in a row.
the
He has a lot
number
of health.
HP that he has is higher than Bad Girl's.
I mean, okay, fair enough, I suppose. My bad. He is the or Bad Girl's the longest one.
No,
I
don't even
still
agree.
spent
yeah.
more time on Henry.
No, I do agree with that. No, I didn't.
No,
I didn't
Bad
even
Girl's
have
the
max
longest
level
one.
weapon
Like, they're
against Bad
special,
Girl,
though.
and Bad Girl did not take as long as Sir Henry.
Yeah, Henry. took
Maybe
him
there's
even
some. Maybe
longer.
there's something with that. Maybe there's something with that club saber that just is better for her or something. Like they don't expect you to get the last weapon.
Maybe.
For
Who
her.
fuck? I would believe it.
know.
I
Wouldn't
at this
put it
point, I
past
believe
this
it.
game,
Sure.
I would believe it too.
Because Henry, like
'Cause,
again,
like,
Henry was
I
not
had-
hard.
I
Different
had-
weapons have
Because I
different
had
properties, so
the
maybe.
I had the green saber and she took so long. She took so
Like-
long.
Yeah. She is
So-
the longest.
Yeah, for me,
So,
she
okay.
wasn't, but like she was still harder because Henry, he only has like 4 actual attacks, and it's not that
Yeah,
he was
and, like,
hard. It's
One or
just
and like 1 or 2 of those, you can just dark step and
yeah.
wail on him
It,
forever.
Yeah.
it was just like it was really fun at first, but after I died twice, it just became really tedious, and I was like, man, this
Yeah, I
this
can see
kind
that.
of does encapsulate the game where it's really
Yeah.
cool. Except now I'm having to actually do it, and I'm just like, I just want it to be over.
It was long.
Yeah,
I don't.
that's
And I,
This game is
I,
the best
that's
to watch
all of
someone else
my-
play, dude.
Yeah.
all of that is 100% like you just described my experience with Bad Girl.
Yeah, sure.
That's crazy.
the fight was long, but I won't agree that it was like just that it was long. Like, cause like I beat it. I mean, I beat it on my first try, but I was like, I think I remember it was pretty close for me. Like I was really sweating because it did take a while, and I was like down to like my last hit. So I do remember it not being necessarily like easy or like.
It's not like
But
free.
I didn't buy all
but,
the upgrades either.
It's
What-
not. Yeah, it's not free, but
once
compared
I
to every
saw-
other boss in the game, nearly.
Like, especially after like I died the second time, I realized all of what his attacks were. To like where I could go into the third attempt knowing all of his attacks and what he's telegraphing. So I like barely got hit, but I still did have to get the health at one point to be safe. So it wasn't free, but it was still like, and he did do damage if he did hit you, but like I was just able to predict all of his attacks at that point. So like it just became a matter of like, okay, now I just have to do this for about 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
I.
it is.
anyone
It
have
is
any
the type of difficulty I don't like in any game. Where Danny, I think said it already. It's like I have it down. I can deal with all of it. I just have to do it for a really long time.
Yeah.
I just
Right,
don't
exactly.
personally find that like interesting.
Yeah, same.
It's like my big
if
issue with
if
like
I solved
Octopath
it, then I
Traveler.
should be able to do it in like like not instantly, but like way faster.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like my issue with like Octopath Traveler. It's like those fights take forever, and they're at like half health
Yeah,
at the point in which I'm like,
that is the main thing.
I am done. I have it done. I have dealt with everything here.
Yeah.
I can deal with all of it.
That-
It's just
this
taking time at this
perfectly.
point. Yeah.
That is the main
Right.
thing that has kept me from getting back to that game. Is the fights get to a point where they take eons.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then you
And
guys,
it's
anyone
not even
have
like
anything-
it's not even like an Expedition 33 thing where there are like active skill checks. Like you have to still be parrying and dodging things. It's just like there are literally no skill checks. It is just now like a mental endurance thing.
yeah.
Of,
Yeah,
can
you're
I-
doing the
I
things
be
correctly.
active the
It
whole-
just
the
takes
whole
like
time.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Does
But-
anyone have anything about the actual combat of the final boss else to say before we launch into the? Because there's a lot of stuff to talk about with the
Not a
story.
ton. Like I said, I just think it was one of, probably not the easiest, but it was one of the easiest boss fights in the game. Just by
It was at least
virtue
more
of-
straightforward. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was nothing bullshit about it per se, or
Right.
unclear because it was pretty consistent for me.
yeah, it was all very clear. It just took a long time.
It was one of the better boss fights because of
I
that.
liked it
Yeah.
right after Gene. Like it was fun to do after Gene, where like I
Yeah.
could actually
Right.
like hit the boss
Yeah.
and be aggressive and
I
like
agree
Yeah.
with that.
So
Yeah, because that's just I think potentially my overall issue with the game is like it feels good to be aggressive and then having to play
Yeah.
defensive feels like such a mismatch for
Such a slog.
Right.
the combat system of the game. Which is why like since I was fighting Bad Girl for like an hour and a half, like when I was on my fine run, it felt like I like had everything down that I actually could be aggressive and like hit them with charge attacks and do stuff. But I think that was only able to happen because I died so many times to her. You know?
So the so like related to this. So do you guys know who the person who came in to try to attack Travis on the toilet was in the at the beginning of the endings?
No idea.
I just
Oh.
assumed
Yeah,
it
no,
was
I
an
don't know.
assassin that's trying to be number one
Yeah,
Nope.
me
Okay,
too.
So
now. Is that a Killer
It is
7
not confirmed.
reference?
yeah, it is not confirmed, but it is likely the debatably the main of the Killer 7. I mean, they're all kind of equally main, but yes, it is the one from the first level in Killer 7 kind of suit. The guy who, if you've ever seen Killer 7, he's the black guy in the white suit where he carries a briefcase around, and then every single time you point your gun to shoot at someone, he flips open the briefcase to pull out a gun, and then when you let go of the aim button, he puts it back in his briefcase. And it's fucking Killer 7 is so good. You guys gotta play Killer
Yeah, no,
7.
I definitely
Yeah.
want to play it after this.
And so in case you were confused at when you get the wrestling moves, there's the wrestling mask and then the note saying MS. That is not, it ended up not being like a twist or anything in this game. That is a reference to Killer 7. I didn't remember this until I was reminded of it because it's been a while. That is the mask of Mask de Smith, because all of the Killer 7, their last name is Smith. So he is Mask de Smith, the sumo wrestler character that you play as in Killer 7. So he is the one who is a big fan of Travis for some reason. So like those are the two big Killer 7 references. There's other ones like in Batgirl's like thing, like her fridge has a sign that says Chiller 7 on it, which is
Killer 7.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's from Mao ahead.
yeah. So there's definitely a lot of smaller Killer 7 references in the game, but those are the two biggest ones with the characters. It's like, is it really that guy from Killer 7 that Travis just straight up kills? I don't know.
Sure.
Sure. Who
I
he's
did not
black.
like this section on the bus.
It has the
Yeah,
white
this
suit.
section kind of sucks.
I didn't know you hated Korean film culture, but okay. Just giving my thoughts about the story then with how it wraps up. So you guys are pretty consistently saying how the thing about the game is that it just doesn't take itself, like, it's pretty irreverent and like there's not too much to read into. It's just kind of
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle of here where a lot of people have a lot of deep things to say about it, and I think they are very valid in making those analyses, because there actually is, because having played Killer 7, obviously Killer 7 is really confusing and has a lot to read into, and this comes right after Killer 7, and so obviously part of it is that he wants to do something that completely subverts expectations of what his next project was, even though it's in a very similar art style and like the same universe, the Kill the Past universe. But there is a lot of the story to read into, especially with the true ending. So like with that monologue, or not monologue, that dialogue between Travis and Sir Henry, motherfucker. He like they lampshade it and like oh yeah, like they look at the camera like, oh, this is a bullshit twist, you got to explain this, and they're kind of like, whatever. So a lot of people's analysis of that is at that point in the game they are so trapped into the cycle of violence, because the whole game, and I argue it's not consistent about this, but the whole game kind of funnels Travis down this thing of like, he starts the game in the very first fight. His dialogue is, "Fighting your own kind. This is what I live for. It's exhilarating." And slowly throughout the game, there are different boss fights where he is no longer as gung ho about just straight up killing. That's why I say it's not consistent, but there is a thread to follow there.
Yeah.
And so you get to this final fight. So the original ending where like he dies in the toilet, that's like a, well, yeah, that's his destiny. Like violence begets violence. Last of Us 2, whatever. With the real ending, it's still that, but their dialogue is like, we can never get out of this. We are destined to keep fighting. And then they are immortalized in a painting that is viewed in a museum, representing that, yeah, the cycle of violence will literally never end, and it continues on like this. And they have to fight until they die, which apparently they don't. So like, fuck
Yeah,
that.
I was
don't
gonna
know.
say if
But-
that is like if Jean the kid is Travis and Sylvia's kid specifically, then that erases that part of it because
No,
they
no, no,
don't
no. It doesn't
die.
necessarily.
Why?
No, well,
I assumed that the kid was like, because there's it like
I
cuts
assumed
from
that it already existed.
it cuts from Gene to motel, and you don't know what happened between there.
True. I guess I kind of assumed it was right after. I guess that's possible.
Yeah, I
my-
suppose so.
My
Like he's
interpretation
just cut.
was,
You just cut straight to he's just on the toilet. You don't know what he's been doing.
my interpretation was it. Who knows if it's even like in the order of the timeline, because that could have been like years beforehand, where like they're doing like a weird thing, like there's like a prophecy thing, like like because
Wow.
who knows, it could be anything, and like it's Phil was saying like, yeah, it's Travis's kid. I guess that's something in No More Heroes 3, because the whole thing of like the problem No More Heroes 2 is like it chooses certain themes to continue with into 2, like what I'm saying, the cycle of violence and stuff, but also just straight up does not care. So, and like the whole thing of like the assassin, the UAA not existing, but also like it technically it did, but like it doesn't. I don't know, but so this is just all me to say like there definitely is stuff to read into.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
think
I
it's
didn't
not
mean to act
consistent.
like there wasn't. I didn't
Yeah.
mean to give the impression that I was saying that like
Right.
there's
It is
literally
irreverent
nothing.
and like it's a totally valid interpretation, though. I mean, to say that like the theme of the game is that it doesn't care, but
Right.
but like it definitely does as well. That's why it's
Right.
like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
through multiple things,
Yes.
and like it's Pseudo 51 and Killer 7, like playing off of that. And I was reading a big theme of all of his work, and especially Killer 7, which I was too stupid and young at the time to understand, because I played Killer 7 when I was 26, too young to play fucking pseudo games. Even when I played No More Heroes, I was like, I think I'm too young for this. A recurring theme is West versus East, meaning like West, like Europe and the Americas versus like the Asia, because you look at Henry versus Travis. These are not my words. These are other people's interpretations for this game. Travis is the Eastern samurai, where he follows the code of the Bushido. It not in being polite, overly polite, but like he, like is like honorable with fighting people. That's why he's like honest to destroy man and stuff, and like he's like driven, and he has his own values that he doesn't, whatever the code of the Bushido technically is. Whereas Henry, it also like he is obviously like the like a knight of Arthur, like that kind of European knight, and also like red of the samurai versus like the like grays of like the Europe or something like that. So there's a lot of like stuff like that that people have analyzed that I think is interesting to read into. And like that's like a proven recurring thing in Suda's works, which is very interesting. And that's why I'm like kind of like saying there's a lot more than like even like I like noticed going through the game, and like I recognize that, even though I think a lot of the bits of the story has its issues, but like symbolically, Suda has like proven himself to like merit that like a lot of it is intentional. Not that I think you guys are like necessarily like saying that it's not intentional, but because when I beat the game, I had the same vibe of when I beat Killer 7 when I was like, I'm too stupid to really understand what it was going for, and I gotta sit on this for a while and let it like digest. And like that's like the
I
strongest point of Suda's games, I think.
Yeah, I had mostly a similar feeling where I was like, man, I don't know how to feel about this right
Yeah.
now.
Which is why
But
his games
like
are cool.
my immediate reaction was this was a bunch of hilarious creative decisions in this
I was
whole
like,
ending
man,
sequence.
huh?
um,
Okay.
but I wasn't sure if my final thought, like I didn't know what my final thoughts were going to be. I still don't really know, of whether I would be like, oh, this was just like stupid but funny, or if I thought I would read something more into it later.
Mhm.
But I just had to sit with it, and I still have to sit with it. I think a lot of the
Yeah, I'm
ideas you're
still not
talking
sure.
about are very interesting, and probably like uh, worth thinking about. Uh, but yeah, that was I guess I just that was just my initial reaction, was just like, man, that was a lot of really funny, just creative decisions
Yeah, for me
made
to
for
kind
this
of like
ending.
to bookend it, I think like what I meant when I said that with the opening where it says like "Punk's not dead," video game punk band. Uh, I look at it the same way as you would a punk song, where it's not like the content may or may not be like saying something. It's the existence of the content that is trying to say something. Because a lot of punk, especially in its early days, like it didn't exist for the songs themselves to say like a ton about the state of society. It's that they exist in the first place, like, and they are inherently counterculture. They are going against what like the sensibilities are, and that's the overall message. Is what you take from that. And that's like the vibe that I got, was that like a lot of the individual choices themselves aren't necessarily like, obviously they're intentional, but whether or not they all mean something in regards to like the overarching story or themes, it's that they were chosen in the first place that represents the kind of punk nature of the game, where it is going against video game sensibilities, are doing things like that the player wouldn't expect, in a way that keeps hammering home like they don't care, not about the content, but specifically they don't care about what the violence is, um, because violence is so like intrinsic to this universe. uh, so like, yeah, the cycle of violence, I definitely like understood that aspect as like similar to Tarantino. Like it's so ingrained into the universe that it feels like it's just passing by. That's why they don't care. And that like did stick out to me, and I thought was pretty interesting.
Do you guys have any interpretation on story wise and the themes on the like extremely late game? Oh, wait. Can you run straight to her? I'm sorry.
No, there's an
You have
No,
invisible
that's what we
you
were
have
wall.
talking
max
about
battery.
earlier. That's what
Oh,
we were
okay.
talking about earlier, is that there's an invisible wall.
And you get
Try
pushed
hard.
back
Oh,
so far.
okay. I just saw because he had infinite battery, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why they did that. So, do any of you guys have interpretations on the like late game like nonsensical narrative developments, and how to like interpret that? Like, have you thought about that?
So when you're saying those developments,
Yeah,
are you
what do you
saying
mean
like
exactly? I thought
the
that's what we've been
guild
talking about.
the guild doesn't exist? The father twist, the Jean twist, and Henry brother
Not
twist.
the guild not existing, I wouldn't include in that because that's like a fair twist. But I mean, like the last minute, like Jean being his half sister, and then like beyond that, Henry being his like her wife, or like yada yada, or like a brother, or like what, like all of that, and like they very obviously are like, oh, it doesn't matter, kind of thing. Like, how would you interpret that for the wider?
I don't know. For me, like again, since I don't have like the context of Killer 7, I kind of interpret it as just like the writers just can't help making everyone related to each other, as just kind of a general rule of thumb. You know, like everyone in Star Wars is related to each other. Everyone is related to everybody.
Mhm.
And I was just like, oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's a character. It has to be related to the main character. Obviously.
No, it's I will say I think that is like a very bad like analysis of the because it the Suda is like an accomplished like director and like very
Yeah.
has a lot of
Yeah.
like it, I'm not trying to say like anything is like an incorrect, but I vehemently disagree with
Yeah,
saying like
I mean
they couldn't help
that's
it.
fine.
Like,
It's just like I don't have like the experience like with his stuff that is more evocative that would make me dig into it since I haven't
Mhm.
played like the Killer 7 and the Killer is Dead and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like I don't have like the context there that makes me want to poke deeper and understand
Sure,
more. It's
sure.
just like with like the kind of like less present storytelling and kind of trope filled stuff. It's like, oh yeah, of course they're related. Like yeah, that's what you do in stories like this.
Did anyone else have any like thoughts on that? Because I've been trying to think of it and where to place it because it's so like it must have some service in its themes, but like it's just I don't know where to put it.
I mean,
Outside
I
of
think I just interpreted it the way Michael was describing the
Yeah.
punk part of it.
outside
Just
of
like
the
it is
context of
counterculture.
the
subverting-
thing, then it is just like going against the sensibilities of what a story like this would do, while also like mocking what a story like this would do, like having
Right,
the,
like kind of
the
being
twists,
funny satire.
right, it being
Yeah,
irreverent
I mean it's
to the
definitely part
genre
of it.
itself of
Um,
like, yeah, of course, in this assassination like story, despite the fact that none of it should have mattered in the first place because there was no guild, like this
Right.
dude who seemingly ran the guild is also his twin brother and had nothing to do with it except for like his wife like gets bored sometimes and just likes to mess with people. Like there
Yeah.
is a lot of like stuff that doesn't make sense in and of itself within
I
the
forgot.
reveal, because
Oops.
that's just the kind of thing that like you would expect this story to have. And then there's the other side of it where it's like, but none of it matters or makes sense because it's all like just kind of a joke in itself, because that is the punk part. Like it goes against the sensibilities
I mean,
of
that's-
itself.
I think that's like the pretty like obvious interpretation of it of just like
Okay.
it is a joke, you know, like it is like the joke and like subversion, and then like you can go to your friends and be like, well, that's what the fuck, that's like it's because it is a big, you know, it is abrasive to the player, and like so I got that, but like I'm wondering like the only other the because I am positive, you know, there is like another thing to it. The only thing I've like really thought of is like I possibly it's going for like the idea of like violence would blind you to the more important and things right in front of you. Like that's probably an aspect of it.
I
of,
didn't
like,
really feel that though because there
Maybe.
wasn't like any hints or things that like those things were true.
No, it's from
Like
no, I know.
there wasn't like a bit where it's like, oh, if only Travis hadn't done blank, he could have told that Henry was his half brother. You know?
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's so from Travis's point of view, like if he would have like stopped to talk a little, like you know when he fought Henry, like he stopped because like literally if you remember, Sir Henry motherfucker literally starts to say,
Yeah, he
"Oh,
was about to
Travis,
explain
don't you
himself.
remember, I am," and then Travis says, "Shut the fuck up! I'm gonna kill you."
Fair
he
enough.
literally would have ended
Fair,
the story right there if Travis did not start talking over him.
Right.
So like, and like I didn't realize that until I watched like Miles get to that point again, and I was like,
yeah,
oh,
he is
yeah,
about to
okay.
explain himself, and Travis is like, I don't care.
Yeah, which is and at that point and it's awesome because you as Travis are like, shut the fuck up, dude. Who gives a shit? So like and like I mean it's from Travis's perspective I'm using this analysis. I that's why I'm like it's fair there's also no real foreshadowing of it because it's you know who really cares. Also like Michael was saying because that helps sell the point. Like if it was foreshadowed, that ruins the first like analysis where it's like no, it's just like fuck you, it's being punk, it's like doing whatever, and it is funny. But like I guess part of it is like the being blind and like you know not stopping but you know it's these analyses aren't necessarily perfect because like I said I think the game is just not consistent and that's what
Yeah.
makes some of it a little awkward. Not to fault the great Suda51, but
Well, even great artists have like lesser works, I think.
Yeah, I know. And this is him coming off of Killer 7, which, by the way, did you guys watch the opening, the reveal trailer for No More Heroes?
No.
I don't think so.
The reveal
No.
trailer, so this game was originally called Project Heroes, and it later changed its name to No More Heroes. And so, and this wasn't even going to be for the Wii. It was going to be a 360 exclusive. But then someone, I forget who, maybe from Capcom, told him, you should make it for the Wii. And then he respected him, so he was like, okay, I will. He wasn't even like his boss. He was just his friend that he respected.
Yeah.
And so the reveal trailer is a CG thing of that opening cutscene where like Helter Skelter, I think his name is, where the guy that Travis kills, that you don't play, and it opens with him doing a bunch of sick ass kills and like as if he's going to be the main character, and then like 1 minute into the thing, like this dorky dude shows up, and then they do the clash, and then like that guy falls down, and then Travis goes like, guess you should have played better video game. A really bad one-liner. Not even in like this is like a dorky fun thing, like straight up bad, and his voice actors suck ass. It's really bad. And so a lot of people were actually upset. But so I mention this because it's very obviously going against the grain of what Killer 7 was, of like, I mean, this game still has deeper themes and messages, but like what Michael was saying, it's a really good game to follow up Killer 7 specifically because it is like the super irreverent, whereas Killer 7 is like, I mean, irreverent a little bit. Like there's the guy in the gimp suit who always says we're in a tight spot, master, but like that's a recurring thing
that.
every
I like that a
level.
lot.
But yeah, so just to bookend this, I just wanted to bring up Killer 7 more to say, like, with context, there's a lot more to read into and appreciate with this back-to-back.
Did I put that on my
very
list of games I'm going to be playing next year? I might have. Give me 1 second.
What, Killer 7?
Yeah.
It's not that long. It holds up super well because it's an on-rails third-person shooter. By on-rails, I do not mean linear. I mean you can literally move only on like a rail axis and occasionally make a turn between left and right. It is, and it's really cool because it does
Pokemon
the Metroid
Snap.
Other M thing, where when you aim, then you go into first person and then shoot people all around you.
It is now on my list of games to play for next
Very
year.
cool.
All right. Well, Tony,
There you go.
if no one had anything
Yeah.
else to say, Tony's got a
Yeah,
presentation for us.
It'll be short since I know we're already running on the longer side of it.
Is this the longest
But,
we've
all
talked?
right.
I
think
it
so.
is,
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah, which is crazy. I would have assumed that BioShock would have held the record to like Omori or Kentucky Route Zero.
Well,
Personally,
it helped
so I'm
that
kind
none of
surprised
us
at
had
this.
played this, so there was a lot more to dive into.
Yeah.
If
Right.
none of us
And
had played
also,
Bioshock.
We mostly
would have had-
agreed on the other game clubs, I think. Whereas this,
This one is one of the most controversials.
and it's
All right.
Suda, like it's because it's Suda, and like there's a lot of like different ways to approach it. Like
There's a
yeah,
lot
it's
to
a
like
really good
dig
game
into.
club. So.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so I haven't like teased what it's about, but I
Sorry,
have
are
been
we-
teasing that.
We're not supposed
I-
to see this, right?
No, you can tune in right now. This first slide is intentionally blank so that I can have
Okay.
the title reveal.
I thought you
Um,
asked if we're old enough to see this.
No. So I've been seeing that. I don't think that anyone's going to be able to guess what this topic is about, but it might potentially become obvious once, or that like it was obvious that I chose this after I go to the next slide. But there has been a trend over the past 6 years in game development that I was initially in favor of, but I think has become less and less useful. And I think the games industry has kind of missed the point of the trend. And I think I was especially aware of it while playing through No More Heroes and really seeing all the different avenues that game devs could have taken on this trend, and yet it has just become a very single thing. So the topic of this presentation is The games industry missed the point of can you pet the dog?
Oh boy.
So
Fucking god.
Boy.
So I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with the Can You Pet the Dog? Like we've seen the account, it's been running since like mid 2019, and it catalogs whether or not individual games support the player petting dogs. It's expanded to a few other things of like wolves, cats, other animals, and it
Right.
catalogs like all of like the small interactions that you can have for it. And I think especially, as I said at the beginning, it's like a very novel thing to see which games have gone in depth to include a bit of extra detail that wasn't really like necessary for game developers to do at the time. That was just, like a bit of extra bit of positivity, like in Atelier Yumiya, the Alchemist Memories and the Envision Land, you have the stuff here. Wizard of Oz, like a full like almost historical category thing of like understanding of which things could pet the dog. But it blew up for I think a number of reasons, and I think it's because like a lot of games can become overly focused on like very specific verbs of we're really good at like shooting, jumping, flying, romancing, and like really specific things, but we kind of miss out on like little fun details that like really like help stuff like shimmer and like feel like a world come alive. And so I think just like seeing like, oh yeah, here's all of the effort that game developers have put in to show love towards dogs, which are obviously very cute, was I think like a very unique, very fun thing to just kind of go and see. But I think we're missing out on more at this point, because it feels like at this point, it is included to like meet a checkbox, and specifically like a marketing checkbox. I went and I was just scrolling through like a lot of the more recent entries on Can You Pet the Dog, and like the ones for like the big games still get in the range of like 2,000, 3,000 retweets and likes that help other gamers become aware of games as they exist, to just kind of come in and see it's like, oh yep, they have done the prerequisite at this point. They
Sorry,
have
can I
done
raise
the
my hand?
expect. Yes, please.
Stop me if you're going to get to this. Are you going to get into blaming the consumers at all?
No, I don't
Okay,
think
I
so.
just want to say, as part of this analysis, a lot of it is directly tied to Facebook/Reddit level, like
Yes.
Redditors.
Well, I was debating whether or not I should talk about Stray in this, because I feel like Stray,
Yeah.
I think I said this at the
Yeah.
time,
Is that the
is
logical
like
conclusion?
is the pinnacle
I was
of
about
the
to
Can You
say,
Pet
yeah,
the
like
Dog
the
project.
the logical
Yeah.
conclusion of this
I'm
entire
sorry,
thing.
and I have always been jaded about this. Because I'm sorry, but me personally, I'm not like anti. I'm not like r/I hate dogs or whatever that is. But I just don't care. Like even in like a game, I majority of the time just don't care about the like petting the dog. Even before this whole thing, it like yeah, it's cool, it's there, but like so whenever I saw it, I would get a little jaded on the internet. People freaking out about like pet the doggo, ooh doggo here, ooh the fluff boy. Like that always felt like way too much to me, and like
Well, I liked
yeah.
it
It's like a
exclusively when no one talked about it. When no one big talked about it. Like when it was exclusively a look, they made the decision to do it.
When it's
I-
a
Yeah.
then I
small
liked it.
detail that you can appreciate, not
Yeah.
something that's put
Yeah.
in
Very-
because they want to
Again,
be on the Twitter
it-
account.
Yeah,
As Tony's
exactly.
talking
As all
about.
you're saying
Well,
right now,
once-
it used to be a nice surprise, but now it feels obligatory to
as
Right.
opposed to
include in a
making
game.
different surprises.
Yeah, and like
small details.
and
Yeah.
this phenomenon of it feeling obligatory happened forever ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
it happened in 2019. It really hurts to call my goat out like this, but the point in which I felt like it was actually most cynical was when Hades, in one of its early access updates, or in the first early access update, directly after Can You Pet the Dog got big, allowed you to pet Cerberus, and I was like, oh, this was made to get onto the Twitter account, like
Sorry,
specifically.
can we just refer to it as, because to sum up what I was saying, can we just refer to
Dog
like,
update.
okay, what let's pick a year, but what year should we call post-doggo culture? What year?
What year would be post
Like-
doggo?
Post doggo? That's
Wait,
broader.
Or like,
Wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
the
I
point
haven't
where
heard the
doggo
phrase
started,
doggo
not
in forever.
post-doggo.
Like,
like-
Luke, let me clarify. When you say post-doggo, do you mean like after doggo has become cringe, or after doggo existed as a?
I'm
Term.
gonna be honest, it was cringe for me after 1 year, so like either or.
Let's say 2017 as the
That's a-
market.
yeah.
Safe. Okay.
That sounds
That's-
safe.
I think that's very safe, but
Yeah.
sure, we can just say that.
Yeah. But I think like the question that I've had for a while, ever like since 2019, is like, what about the other emotions of like the other, desires that you have in game worlds? What about them that have like nowhere to go?
What
We just
fucking-
played.
Oh,
like,
oh,
No
oh,
More
oh,
Heroes.
I was right.
Oh boy.
And so to me, it's like the jobs and little things that impressed me most about No More Heroes of just getting to like waggle and shake like this saber to charge it back up.
Yeah,
It
that
had
was
like
cool.
Yeah,
the
No More
grass-
Heroes has a lot of
how many
details in it.
games let you mow the lawn? How many games let you fill up like a gas
Like I
gas
said,
for
we're
car
going to
at
be
gas
mowing the lawn a
station?
little bit later
Or-
in the year.
Exactly. But like
For what game?
in
What are
addition
you
to like
referring to?
Bully.
is that Bully? Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
do that in
okay.
Bully.
But like
Oh,
graffiti cleaning, and especially to me, like garbage collection feels like kind of
Garbage
a big.
collection is
The garbage
crazy.
collection, the way the mini game was set up, like the way you
Yeah.
controlled it, was so specific.
It's so ridiculous, but I love
where
it.
you have to go up to it, and then you have to do the motion. Like, I don't know, it was just such a specific kind of like not too long, but kind of too long animation. Like, it was the perfect length.
Yeah. But so I was going and I then had a brainstorming thing of like looking at other things in games that like why don't like unfortunately because it's not nice core millennial infantilizing that you can't make a kitschy Twitter account about it. That's like why don't we have a working catalog of games where you can go to the bathroom? You have Persona 3 here, you can go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
I
you
can think of like
condition things
5
become
off the top
good.
of my head.
We have No More Heroes. We've got Catherine, where you can go into the bathroom. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
nice little things. Or another great one, Transistor has a dedicated hum button, where you at any point in time you can press the button and Red will start humming along to the background music. It's like a nice little detail, especially with her like as a musician. I think really adds like a lot of flavor there. Or in Pentiment, you can like eat meals with different people, and you can see like the food get like slowly consumed. This one I think is like becoming more and more of a deal because I think like the Monster Hunter animations of from like Monster Hunter Worlds on have been like really popular. Of like the cats making like the food, the dango, or like the cheese bread in
I do think
Wild.
it is something that Japanese games specifically had way more to
Yeah.
jump on because
Three
even
Houses,
old Monster Hunter had it,
I'm
Yeah.
thinking
and
of
things have been doing it
Three-
because of old Monster Hunter.
Three Houses has a mechanic where you can like eat dinner with your students and get like some story from them and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Part of
And I'll-
that the food thing might also be because of the anime thing. All anime food looks really good, and like
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it looking as
cultural
good as
thing,
it does
but
for
yeah,
sure.
right.
But like, I think video games having a point where you sit and eat food as an action, that I think is a Monster Hunter thing.
Yeah. Or like I think I might list this on the next slide, but I know I didn't put one about this at all, but like the Yakuza games, I think one of the reasons that they're so good is just due to like the life simmy aspects that they have in them of like all the different like food and walking and like specific unique things that you can do with it.
Yeah, like Shenmue.
And- Yeah, I think Shenmue's
Alright,
probably
shut up,
like
dude.
the better answer there. But so we're also missing out on a whole lot more of like everyone loves putting your face up to like a moving fan in like the summer and like getting like cooled down and seeing like your hair blow.
I thought you were gonna say
Or,
that
like-
was in a game, and I was getting hype. Like what?
No,
the future?
no, not that I know of. Or like washing dishes, cleaning at large, cooking food, like actually like making some kind of food.
This
which,
is why
again,
Stardew Valley is the
it's
perfect
getting
game.
more and
That's
more
true.
like popular. going to bed. I think honestly a really, really big one, even though I know it can be harder to animate, is like hugging. Like I'm surprised that there's not, like,
Deltarune!
well, no, I'm thinking like in Baldur's Gate 3, being able to like go up to like your romantic partner and just give them a hug, I think is like
Hey.
Oh, I
again,
didn't know
probably
you
a
could do
pretty
that.
low
Yeah.
return,
It
but like
worked out
pretty
for me
positive.
with the
You
Shadowheart thing.
you ever play Shadows of Mordor?
No, I haven't.
The opening of that game to teach you how to do stealth kills is it
Oh yeah.
makes you sneak up behind your wife and give her a stealth hug.
That's clever.
Yeah, the button prompt is hug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm also hugging. I don't know if you get to this, but the Boy in the Blob.
Yeah, there's a
dedicated
dedicated
Oh, yeah,
hug
that
hug
one's
button.
Good. That one's good. No, that's literally at the end of the presentation there. Of
Oh, okay.
just like, again, it was significantly less in depth than my other
Man,
ones,
this
which
has
is
taught
like,
me that Death Stranding is actually the best game ever made.
But like,
yeah, you know what
we
other
have-
verb
we
is
have
good
all
to
of
do
this-
in games? Walking.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's something that I think a lot of games animate already, where it's like I think a lot of these
But
other
know.
ones.
no
It's just
other
Death Stranding
game
is the
besides
one
Death
like
Stranding
really-
has the joy of walking.
I still, yeah, that, and like I still am continuously impressed at how, like, seriously, not goofy, they made walking a mechanic
Yeah.
and like navigating the terrain with your feet and legs a
It is
gameplay
the
Yeah.
whole game.
thing.
It's
But-
the whole
and it's
to
not
the
like a
point where
goofy
I don't know
thing.
if I would count it as in the same context because
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
blows
not.
up. But I
But-
mean, you're correct though.
But it's just to think about, like, we've over fixated on like petting dogs to the point that it's become like a joyless marketing checkbox.
Yeah.
When I think there are so many other details, especially again throughout all of No More Heroes, that I think is like really impressive, and I wish
While also
games
having
would
a
be
dedicated
more willing to explore and
right.
flesh out like the little details that can still be like fun interactions.
And No More Heroes, on top of all of that, also has the dedicated not just being able to pet the cat, but play with the cat and do more
Yeah.
things than pet
That's very
with
nice.
the cat.
Yeah, No
Yeah.
More Heroes 2's thing, Pet the Cat goes crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like a whole journey, right?
And when you were playing the game and played with Gene the cat today, I was like, damn, he did get fat. Like I didn't realize how thin he was. But sorry, I'm just trying to think about other small details. What was I just thinking of? Like details in games. Like, oh yeah.
But like even the
So-
one that I've really liked in Expedition 33, which isn't consistent, you just write in a journal at camp. Like that's one of my favorites of
So the
like just having a moment of reflection there.
So okay, this one as an example kind of sucks, but because it does have a gameplay mechanic, and so it is a little bit different. But I'm just thinking of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. That started the trend of like when you're giving, maybe not that game, maybe a previous one, but when you collect a health item and you walk up to an ally pretty closely, you hug. It looks like you're making out, but you hug your
Yeah.
friend
Yeah,
to give
that's
Yeah,
in,
them
like,
that's
Superstar.
That's Superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
right.
You
But
can do
for,
it in
like,
Amazing
one
Mirror,
that's,
too.
like, more meaningless. I mean, like this is a joke, but like it's like genuine. I do feel serious about bringing this up. Yonoid 2 with the analog dab.
The analog dab. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
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 Like it's like it's a joke, but like who cares? That makes that game so much more fun because also you can analog dab while platforming
Yeah.
in the air, and it's
That's
like so
great.
there's actually like
That's great.
it's like there's an actual skill part to it where you like get
Any-
good at dabbing for like cool points.
Any
Just for
any
you.
random action that like didn't need to be there, that like serves no gameplay purpose, like as long as there's no context sensitive action to do with it in Okami, when you hit like the action button you just bark.
Oh, also
Yeah, that one's good.
Pizza Tower. Like I mean, there you can parry with like the posing thing, but I think it is first and foremost it's just there to be goofy. And
No, but
some-
it actually has like actual like if you
Yeah.
have over a 10 combo, it screen clears.
Oh right, yeah. But I would believe that that was an afterthought or like that came afterwards.
Yeah.
And I know there are some games where you can make the character's mouth open, or like I maybe it's and like one of them I'm really thinking of is the Oni Plays fan game that they played on their channel, and like you play as like
Yeah.
Oni, and there's a dedicated feature to open your mouth, and then when you let it go, it closes. Just so because on the channel they would make a lot of jokes where they like make the characters like talk in funny voices and like
By
make
making
them
Sonic
crouch
like
up and
look
down,
up. Yeah.
simulate role play. But and so they, you can just make people talk with like
Right.
that. That's a really cool thing. Like I want more
Yeah.
goofy stuff like that for when you're just playing with friends and joking
Similar
around.
to Okami, if
The other
you're
thing-
in Pikmin 4, when you're riding on Ochi or playing as Ochi, if you're not like, if you don't have a Pikmin, then the throw button is just a dedicated bark button, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Or
There's
one of my
also in,
favorite details in
um,
Mario Kart 8 is if you don't have an item, you can honk the horn. I love
others
Waluigi's horn.
react
It's
to
the
it.
most obnoxious thing ever.
Also in Okami is every NPC you can bite them for like no reason.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
what we're
an attack,
saying,
or is it a dedicated
No,
button?
no,
No,
it's
it's
like
a button.
it's
It's a button.
yeah, it's a button that just like it doesn't attack them, it just bites them, and they get annoyed,
What
but
happens?
they
Is
don't
it
do anything.
contextual only? So like you can't bite
Yeah.
it unless. Okay.
I think it's the same button as the bark. I think
What is the bark?
it's like A or something when
Like
there's nothing
I mean,
around.
functionally in the game, what does the bark do otherwise?
Literally nothing.
Okay.
Oh, in
okay.
Pikmin?
Like,
Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything.
no, in Okami.
Oh, sorry.
So what we're
The
saying
bark
is
doesn't
that
do
video
anything.
games
The
used to be
the
better.
button I think is just the general
Yeah.
like Ocarina action button.
Can anybody else think of any other fun detail? I think this is a very interesting thing to think about.
I can't remember why, but I feel like 1,000 Times Resist had one or two, but I can't remember what they are.
I can't remember any in there.
I think that will probably do us for this conversation though on No More Heroes. I think that
Yep.
was that
I
was
didn't
a
expect
fun
it to go that
presentation.
long.
We
Yeah,
had a lot
neither
to
did
say. I'm gonna get to uploading this and let others join us
Yeah.
on
Well,
now.
before we cut, we have Matt here.
Yeah,
who
yeah,
can
no,
say
I-
a little bit of.
Yeah, what's up, Matt?
I was just gonna say real quick that I have I will be uploading this to a new channel that I am going
Oh.
to make dedicated for more side posts or these podcasts that they will no longer have to be unlisted. So tell your
Seems-
friends, check out the Rats Game Club. I'll be uploading the backlog as well after I upload this episode.
Oh, true.
But and then you could check
Look
us
out
out
for that.
next month with Matt's game, One Shot for July. So if Matt, you want to tell us why you picked One Shot, and tell us a little bit about what to expect with that game.
Yeah, I ultimately chose it because it's been so long since I last played it, and I had a new version. So I was like, I would like to stream that, and also would
Yeah,
like
dude.
to know what other people think of it because
It
it's
seems
an interesting
cute.
story.
When was the initial release? Like 20.
Like 2014, I think.
Okay.
Then World Machine came a lot later, I think, or at least a little while.
Yeah, I know
Especially since it was meant to run in consoles.
that. Right.
Because it was doing a lot of kind of like Undertale does some trickery, but a little more so with its puzzles. But it just kind of stuck with me, even after all this time and after all the games I played. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks of the story.
Alrighty. Looking forward to talking about it. Seeing our friend Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I'm hoping
Not
I
cat.
can make it past the first 3 minutes of the game this time.
I think you can
There
do
you go.
at least 4.
I believe.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Thanks for joining, everybody.
As we know, Tony hates video games.
That'll
It's
do
true.
us for the, what is this, the 7th episode?
Sixth.
The 6th episode of Rats Game Club on No More Heroes. We'll see you next time for One Shot in July.
see ya.
Later.